guys, so today's video is going to be a little bit different because instead of teaching you a full card trick, I'm going to be teaching you a technique that you can incorporate into almost any trick of your choice. It is a very clever and deceptive way to force a card, and I will admit it does look a lot better with a real live spectator if I had one for this demonstration, but since I don't, I'm just going to give you a quick little demo of what it would look like. Just keep in mind, this really does work with, real people, and I will go through every example in the tutorial for how to deal with real people. So let's just say I want to force the 10 of diamonds on the spectator. So I will deal through the cards like this and they can call out stop at any point. Let's say they say stop right here. Okay, so are you sure? So the 10 of diamonds should be right here. And that is a little demo of the psychological stop force. And if you want to learn how this is done, be sure to stick around for the tutorial. All right, guys, so here's my tutorial for the psychological timing force. This is something that I've referenced a lot on this channel before. I've mentioned it in many of my tutorials, but I've never really gone in a full in-depth tutorial on how to do this because it is something that does require a lot of practice and a lot of confidence to pull off correctly. But I will go through all the examples and how to deal with real live spectators, what to do if they say stop at the wrong time, what to do if they don't want to stop at the card. I will go through every single scenario in this tutorial. So to practice, let's just go ahead and choose a card here to force. So I will be focusing on the King of Hearts for this tutorial, but you guys can focus on any card. So basically, the method of the force is this card goes in the center of the pack and you are holding a pinky break right above that card. So the King of Hearts is right here. And all I'm doing is taking little piles of cards off the top, and I'm essentially going to time my dialogue so that I will tell the spectator to stop when I have about half of the cards remaining, like this many right over here, which I would say is about maybe 10 to 15 cards or so above the pinky break. So I'll start taking little piles and I'll say, so I'm going to take little piles like this, and at any point I'd like you to call out stop. So at this point now I have that many cards above the break. It doesn't need to be exact as long as it's approximately that many. And now I'm going to deal like 1, 2, 3, 4, and they should say stop around the 4th time. And I'm going to use that opportunity to get rid of those cards above the break so that when I do about 4 more rounds of dealing, they will say stop around the 4th time or the 5th time. This is typically my experience on how spectators will call out stop. Some people call out stop earlier at 3. Some people call out stop later, like around 6 or 7. So it really is spectator dependent, but I've literally done this so many times to real people, and I'm just using my real life experience to teach you guys what I know. And in my experience, after you give them the instruction to stop, they will wait around 4 or 5 more packets until they say stop. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and they'll say stop around here, and that would be perfect because now I've gotten to my break. So there's 2 best case scenarios that can happen. The first best case scenario is what you just saw. They will say stop, and the card will be the last card left in your hand, which in that case, you can hand over the card to the spectator, have them look at it, and this is a successful force. The other best case scenario is if you are asking them to say stop, and they don't say stop right here where the card is here, but if I just deal 1 more pile of cards on top, now they say stop here. What I will do is I will just place these cards back on top and ignore this completely and point my finger here and say, all right, so this is the card you said stop at. Take this card and look at it, and this will be the spectator's card because it was the top card of the original packet over here. So those are the 2 best case scenarios. Now I'm sure you are probably wondering what happens if they don't say stop at those points. What happens if they stop earlier? What happens if they stop later? So let's start with if they stop earlier. So I'm going to start dealing through cards, and let's say they stop really early right here. I'm not even like close to my break yet. What do I do in this scenario? So in this case, I would ask them, are you sure? Do you want to stop right here at this card? And what I will do is I will point to this card, and then I'll retract my hand, and I will perform a classic pass to move their selection to the top of the deck. And what I will do is if they say, are they sure this card? Maybe they'll change their mind and they'll say, no, I actually want this card, which in that case would be perfect because now you've just moved this card to the top so you can give them the card. But if they do want this card, if they are determined with this card over here, all you will do is pick up this card and get a break under their selection, which is right here. So I'll just push off the card, get a break. and then I can do a double like this, showing the card, and I'll just pick up 2 cards like this, or I can also do a double lift if it doesn't matter if I see the card, or I can do a top change of any kind like this to show their card. There's many different ways to go about this. I would probably just hold 2 cards and show them like this, and then that would be even better because now you can control the card by placing this random card down and then making it appear like the card goes in the middle, but you've actually just controlled the card at the top. So that's how I would go about if they said stop earlier. Now, what happens if they say stop later? Let's say I'm dealing through the cards right here and I tell them to say stop. So I'm at this many cards. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. They haven't said stop yet. I go here for one more chance. What I'll do is I'll start to slow down around the break so that they will have more of an opportunity to say stop. But let's say they don't say stop yet. Don't worry, just keep going, but make sure you kind of side jog the rest of the cards so that you will be able to see this card at all times. So just keep that card in view, and let's say they say stop really close to the bottom, like over here. What I will do instead is I will shift the trick so that now the force card will no longer be a force card. Instead, I'll just change the trick so that this will now act as a key card instead. So they can truly have a free choice now to choose any card. They can choose this card, they can choose this card, this one, they can choose this one here, this one. It doesn't matter which card they choose. They can even choose this one if they want, which would be great because that was the original force card. However, whichever card they choose, you tell them to look at it and you won't be able to see it, but you will know where it is because all you will do is take the card and slide it into the middle of the deck, but you will actually be placing it right next to your new key card, which you know is the King of Hearts. So now you can square up the deck like this and say, all right, your card is lost in the middle, and you can do some shuffles like this, but you already know that the King of Hearts will determine where their card is because it is going to be right next to it, just like this. So later in the trick, I can just quickly look through the cards or just cut the King of Hearts to the top or the bottom of the deck, and I can just control their card any way I want. So the main thing about this force is that it is very spectator dependent, and you will have to be confident in going about all the different scenarios. And yes, this is a risky thing to do, but I will say that with practice, it does get a lot easier and you will be able to sort of read spectators. I actually like to look at the spectator's face while I am doing this stop force because it sort of clues me in as to their thought process, if they're trying to mess me up or if they're trying to follow instructions. It will just kind of clue me in as to what they're thinking so that I'll be prepared for the outcome. I will say, since this is a very risky force, I would definitely refrain from trying out tricks that require a forced card with this type of force, especially if you're a beginner, because if you need a certain card to actually be picked, then you're not going to really be able to have this now turn into a key card because it would ruin the trick that you are about to do. However, this is exactly why I would recommend doing this for advanced magicians, because if you have a large repertoire of many different tricks, you can easily just turn this into a key card effect, and now you can go into any type of impromptu reveal or other trick that you know how to do. So that's why I urge this trick to be used by advanced magicians or by people who are experienced and know how to go about different scenarios like that. But if you're a beginner, don't knock it till you try it. It's a lot easier than it looks, trust me. It does take practice though, and it also requires you to be very confident. So yeah, anyways guys, that's about all I can say for the psychological force. It's a really, really cool technique, and I really do use this all the time, and I urge you to try it out if you haven't already. It's really amazing. So yeah, anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the tutorial, and stick around for more videos coming soon. So yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.